It is time for Afro Economics Live. This is the Wednesday night live event. I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of Afro Economics. Indeed, and it's 2020, the first webinar of 2020. I'm gonna see if I can make sure I get my little background right so we can see. You can see that real good. Look, around the fro. Celebrating 25 years. Watch out now. Go to Afro Economics Fest or go to afroeconomics.com. Click into the event for the fest and register. It is absolutely complimentary. It is 3 days of free financial empowerment. So it's going to be packed. Get registered. We already have almost 100 people registered for it. So I'm like already at 30% of what I was anticipating. And I ain't even started talking about it yet. We're doing some great panels, y'all. Great panels. I'm doing a panel called Ms. Independent and Today's Black Man. And I have some wonderful ladies, some great men, all members. So make sure you register as a member today. No excuse, absolutely free. Membership level is available to you. If you want to be on my panel in any capacity for these events, you have to be registered as a member. So please let me know, all the members, let me know what you would like to work on. Entrepreneurship, Ms. Independent, Black Love, it's about couples and money management together. Black Health, Black Wealth, if you're a healthcare practitioner, let me know on what level you would like to volunteer and participate in this absolutely free financial empowerment event. And on Sunday morning, we're going to have our pop-up church with Cora Armstrong, Ms. Guy, Jerry Davis. We have 4, Ms. Braxton, so y'all just definitely check out all of the information, because I just don't do it service by just talking about it right now, because I'm just sharing it, but I'm not giving you all of the details. Basically, Sunday morning, we are having church. It's going like the soul of your money, my Bible-based financial management. Well, I'm bringing in some serious gospel talent to get their praise on for Sunday morning. And then that afternoon is the Teen Summit. So all day Saturday is about our money and the adult stuff. But Sunday afternoon is the Teen Summit, supporting Virginia Higher Education Fund, where I give the Afro Economics Scholarship, because you all make all of that possible. So let's make sure we participate. Let me know what you can do to help. It's about service. For 2020, it's about service and giving back. That's going to be the commitment, right? Ms. Hayes, we're taking everything to another level. So I definitely appreciate, and I definitely need us all to participate and to help me with your specific talent. I promise you, all of you have been given something that you can do to help someone else with. Sometimes we think that, we're not important. You might not have this big title or whatever, but you've had your business and you could be on the entrepreneurship panel, because as an entrepreneur, there's someone out there who wants to be an entrepreneur. And that's why I did the entrepreneurship membership, because when I started my business 25 years ago, I didn't have anything like Afro Economics to be a part of. And I want to make sure that we have more and more entrepreneurs. The 7th principle of Afro Economics. So make sure you get the book. Thank you all for all the book orders over the holidays as well. So let's talk about 10 signs your debt may be out of control. So many financial reports are saying that the average household carries at least $10,000 in credit card debt. In addition to the credit card debt, many people are upside down on their car loans. You know what that means? Like they owe more on the car loan than the car is actually worth. Yeah, that's the worst situation you can be in with a car loan because you can't sell it. Like one time I had these members and they were they're working on getting married and they wanted to get their finances straight. And so the gentleman had this really nice car, but the car did not work. It was a beautiful luxury vehicle, but the car did not work at all. And it cost more to fix it than the car was really worth. And he started in the car loan because he really wanted that car upside down. So he had the loan was already worth more than what he could have sold it from when it was working. So let's be careful. That's an example of debt being out of control. And then overextending. So many people are overextended in their home purchases. So debt is generally an unfortunate part of life. And we think of it though, because you see all the commercials and all the promotions about getting, a new credit card, getting more credit card, getting additional loans for everything. You get a loan for everything, even like for dental work. You want to get braces, you can get a loan for that. So we're so used to going into debt for almost every purchase that it's almost unheard of to say that I want to be debt free. But as Afro Economics members and supporters, we have to aspire to be debt free, unless we're talking about something for a business and you're leveraging it for a business goal or to buy inventory for a business. That's different. But from a personal consumer debt perspective, being debt free is where we should all thrive to be. We want to avoid debt by any means, in any means possible. To avoid debt, no matter how crazy you may be accused of being crazy because you don't want to go into debt. You'll never regret that you wanted to have a life of debt freedom. So no matter what you qualify for borrowing, and they might say that you qualify for, 2 times the house that you actually purchased, it's okay to say that I don't want to go into debt based on all of the money that comes into my household. If you only want to go into debt based on one income for that household, then that is a great and solid goal to go for. Then that's why I appreciate when we have our family membership and couples look at things together, because the lender and your financial advisor, we may not agree on. The lender may say, well, you can get approved for this loan, and that's how they get compensated based on how large the loan is. Where I'm going to say, let's think about the worst case scenario and how do we make sure that this gets paid if one of you lose a job. So let's be aware of that. And especially if there's only one income in the household, you have to be even more conscious of how important it is to be debt free and to make sure that you have that emergency fund, right? Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Say said amen. Amen. It's so true. So I have at least 10 points on why I feel that signals or 10 things that should signal to you that your debt may be out of control. Only you will really know, and we can talk about these things together in great detail when we sit and talk together. But here are some signs. These some warning signs. Number 1, you're barely keeping up with the minimum payment on your debts. It says $50 is due, and you have 5 different cards that have $50 due or $150 due, and it's become a challenge for you to keep up with paying at least that minimum. That's a warning sign that there's a challenge here. A second point, you're using your savings to pay for your daily expenses. So you do have a savings account, but you're using it to take care of household expenses. That means that you have too much debt. A third point is that you're running into legal issues. They're calling. You've had a repossession, or they're garnished your wages. Even if it was child support and you received the garnishment for it, when you have to pay child support, it is a debt. It is a responsibility, a legal responsibility that you have. And if you're not paying it, if you're getting behind on it, then that is a debt issue. You have to adjust. I have a video, and pretty often I get comments on it, and it's called increasing your wealth while paying child support, because it is possible to increase your wealth, because people who have those type of responsibilities, as long as you manage your debts and your bills properly, or take advantage of the time that you have available as the non-custodial parent to get an extra job to pay for that expense that's coming out, because the custodial parent has to take care of the child. So they don't have the flexibility of getting an extra job to take care of the extra expenses. They have to take care of the child. Or when they work, they have to pay for childcare. So be aware of the debts that you might not immediately think of as debts, but they're still debts. They're still responsibilities, even if it's that you have to pay alimony or you have to pay child support. So these are signs. If you're not keeping those responsibilities, then that's a sign that you have too much debt. You are in over your head. A fourth point is not saving at least 10% of your income, or you're not saving any money at all. Now, I suggest that our goal should be saving at least 20% of your income. But if you're not able to save at least 10%, you have too many expenses, you have too much debt, or you're not saving any money at all. Hey, there's a challenge. You have too many expenses, you have too much debt. A fifth point, your debt balances are increasing every month. That means you're only paying that minimum. You're not getting the balances down. So the balance is growing every month, or you're adding to it every month. The interest is increasing it each month. That is a challenge, because that means that you can't pay off, especially with the credit cards. You want to use them and you want to pay them off every month. Now, with the holidays behind us, this is where we learn the lessons of what we don't want to do next holiday season. That's why I continue to do our members only meetings and to continue to do our discussions through the holidays, because we have to stay financial minded, or January will hit you really hard. So the debt balances are growing every month. They're not going down every month. Your debts may be out of control. A sixth point is your credit score has gone down. When the balances get too high, or they get over the 20% of the credit available is being used, that can impact your credit score big time. How you doing, Miss Jones? Oh, there's like three. There's a Mr. Jones and two Mrs. Jones logged in. Look at y'all. That is amazing, to the Jones. I hope the Cotmans are doing well this evening. Yes, indeed. Thank you, y'all. Continue to log in as you come in and as well. And a seventh point is that and we're talking about how you are signs that your debt may be out of control, is that your health is suffering. Because if your health is suffering, and it's amazing to me, but it makes sense. The research says that typically people with bad credit tend to have a high body mass index, meaning they're overweight typically. Now, for some people, a high BMI means that they have, like Shaquille O'Neal or LeBron James, they have a high BMI. But I'm saying just a normal average person, high BMI, they use that as an indication that they're overweight. And a high BMI is associated with a low credit score. Hypertension is connected to a low credit score, meaning people, are overwhelmed financially. So the stress of not being able to keep up with your payments can impact your blood pressure and may cause you to be overweight, or it may cause some people to be underweight, depending on how they deal with stress. It might mess up your sleep, your anxiety level. increase your appetite or decrease your appetite, if you're constantly thinking about your debt or being reminded of your debt by calls from collectors, then you're probably carrying way too much debt. Your health is suffering. That is a sign that your debt is out of control. That's why I have Black Health, Black Wealth, because it is so true. I remember a family that I met, and they were doing very well. Both of them doing extremely well, going into graduate school and everything. And then they went through a breakup. The husband didn't want to be married anymore. And I remember that stressed her out so major. I mean, that the heartbreak and the disappointment, pulled on her health so bad. And it just makes me think, when I think about it, that how that can impact, because of, I know it had a lot to do with financial pressures that they had, and, everything. And that at least the financial pressures being the main reason that marriages fall apart anyway, one of the key reasons. And then think of the stress of the breakup and the children, and then trying to take care of everything, by yourself and things like that, and think responsibilities that you created together, and then you're taking care of them by yourself. And then they just will impact your health in some seriously bad ways. They've even shown research of how much a broken heart, people have actually died from a broken heart. So your health, is a big, if you see your health declining because of financial stresses that have created problems, personally, also, it's a sign that the debt is out of control. And then I have 2 summary points. So that means I'm really going to give you 11 tips. Because the 8th tip would be, you have been denied new credit. You've been turned down. You've applied for something and you've been turned down. That is a sign that you're that your debt to income ratio was messed up, or you're not paying on time. But that's a sign that your debt is out of control. A 9th point is, you're living paycheck to paycheck. You don't have any space to save anything. You're frightened on, want to make sure that direct deposit gets there right there on time, or something's going to really fall apart. That means you have too much debt. Yeah, because generally the expenses are the extra expenses, because it costs a lot for us just to live in general. But and then when you add on unnecessary consumer debts, in addition to the cable bill, the cell phone bill, the house phone bill, all of the different expenses that you already have, it's easy, and there's too many people living paycheck to paycheck, and the challenges that represents. We don't have to live like that. We don't have to live like that. And then a 10th point, and I have 11, and a 10th point is, I don't know if any of you have seen that, I call it the Fighting Temptations. And I watched it over the holidays, and I was like, wow, I don't know why that really didn't stand out to me, but I wanted Aziza to see the movie because she likes music, and it has Beyonce in it and a whole bunch of gospel music and all this stuff. I was like, and then it came up as one of the options on demand. But Fighting Temptations, in the movie, Cuba Gooding was faking like he had money. He was just like, he had lost his job because he lied about his resume. And then he was already like overextended in being fake. And then when he lost the job, he was taking credit card to credit card to pay for credit card. So he had like 5 or 6 credit cards, and he would just swipe and see which ones would let him go through. And when he first left town to come down south from New York, he was trying to get cash advances, and it was already getting turned down. And then they were coming after him bad, and he was hiding out down south because the debts were so out of control. So I just call taking credit cards to pay credit cards and being terrified that the credit card is not going to go through because you know that it's already overextended, but you need to use it, and you're trying to just praying that it's going to, when you're praying about something you know that you shouldn't be using, no, that's the fighting temptation. Your debt is indeed out of control, right? I mean, that's a clear sign that there's some challenges there. And then a final point, how to know that your debt, another possible way that your debt may be out of control, is that you're borrowing money from your friends and families to pay your bills. That's a sign that your debt is out of control. I got a text from a girlfriend I haven't seen in years over the holidays, and she said, do you have $200? I don't want us to come between us as friends or nothing, but I was just wondering if you had $200 you could send to me in Cash App, like that's a problem. But it was a webinar idea. It gave me an idea. But because that is one of a key sign that your debts are out of control. But indeed, I also saw her on social media partying and having a good time. So I don't think the money really was to pay debts. It was, I want to party and I don't get paid till after the first. So I'm not willing to stay at home like you're going to do. I want to go out and party, but I know you ain't going nowhere. So can you give me that money? Well, of course I didn't do it. But that is just a true sign that you ain't living right. And yes, it does impact your relationship with your friends and family. And why ain't you ask me to go somewhere with you? Like, you're asking for my money, but don't want to ask you to go with them. Oh my, that's a sign that your debts are out of control. And look, and don't ask people for money and then go on social media and show what you're going to do with the money that you said that you needed for something important, and then you're wasting it publicly. Brandy, how about that? So we're not. I am convinced that most of us that are participating regularly, staying on top of our money goals, are not falling victim to this, because we know how easy it is, Ms. Hayes, right? We know how easy it is to get behind. So I challenge each of us that now, here it is at the beginning of the year, to make sure that we set up our goals, that we get our debts, that we know exactly where we are with every debt that we have, what we owe, what the interest rate is. The interest rate that they're charging you on your balance is enough. I even had a member, it was, I guess, in this holiday season, I was looking at refinancing, and they wanted to refinance her home, but it was only like a 1/4 point difference between the interest rate that they were offering and the interest rate she had. They were going to extend her time period, and the payment was only going to change by a smidgen, and that's hypothetically. So I think that in addition to, I should say, that if you are considering doing things because your debts are out of control, because she was looking for anything that can bring the payment down, that we have to realize that if we start doing things that could actually hurt you, but you are so desperate that you have to get your payments down, then that means your debts are out of control. But the debt that you'll pick on is usually not the debt. See, because they're going to come after that big loan. They're not trying to refinance your 24% credit card that's in the way. They want to come out, or they want to come for your 4.5, mortgage and give you a 4.25, and not do anything that's going to really help your debt position. If anything, and especially in this situation, it was going to increase the debt that was owed and increase the debt that she would have to pay back over time. So her loan balance was going up, but they said, but it's not going to cost you anything. If my loan balance is going up by $10,000 or $1,000 or $500, it's costing me something. So don't act like my equity in my home is not something is not mine. You are doing that. It doesn't matter if you're having writing a check. You're not writing a check. You're still coming up, and she still was going to have to come to the table with some money on that deal. Be very careful. Talk to me about things when you're looking at doing something like that. Use your connections. Two eyes are always better than one. And often a sign that your debt is out of control when you're considering doing something that's really not going to help you. And you're not going to know because you're in a bad situation. So always if you're in a team situation, now anybody that's watching this, they're in a team situation because that's what we do at Afro Economics. So I can assist you in having that backup eye to make sure that the changes and the moves that you make are for your betterment, not for just today, but for your long-term betterment. Like you can look at something that might save you $200 today, but cost you $100,000 over the term of the loan. So we have to be very careful. Brandy said, I'm at my second job listening. That's right. That second job pays off debt. I know that's right. Yes, indeed, girlfriend. You are paying off those debts. I love it. Miss Independent. I was telling them earlier about the panel. I'm doing a panel called Miss Independent and Today's Black Man. And it's going to be interesting. So please email me if any of you members are interested in being on the panel. I will find the panel that is the best fit for you if you don't know exactly which one, because you don't know, because I haven't said all the different topics. Thank you. Brandy says she's learned so much from listening. That's so positive. Thank you. Yes. Yes, indeed. Well, make sure you all get that date, March 6th, 7th, and 8th. Get that straight. Indeed. But that is some of the ways that right there, this was our first, January 1st, 2020. It is cataloged, and this is on YouTube right now, y'all, on 10 ways or 10 signs that your debts may be out of control. I'm JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group and the home of Afro Economics, a registered investment advisory firm. I'm on your team. Let's make 2020 our best